So I'm Steve.
I'm Riley.
Tax Force is our company. What's the segment called? The segment's called Teaching Riley.
Do something a little bit different for this video. We are going to do a website spotlight and talk a little bit about a website that Steve really loves. It has a bunch of different financial calculators that you can use. So yeah, we're going to go into that for you guys.
I wonder about how much I love it. I mean, it really makes me sound like a math geek. No offense to all the math geeks out there, but if you need to find the value of something, they have fantastic financial calculators on this website. And it's not something that you can find anywhere else because of the name. It's not an easily searchable name, and it doesn't sound at all like something that is going to provide you with financial calculators.
It sounds like you're going to play a game.
Yes. Dinkytown.net.
Dinkytown.net.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little screen share for you guys to show you kind of the different calculators, and we're gonna do a little example. We talked about buying versus leasing, so we thought we would do an example in case our candy example wasn't enough on the online calculator.
Years ago, I came across this website. I don't know how I found it. Dinkytown.net. I don't think you would ever find this in any kind of Google search. I came across it, and they have got more calculators here for financial planning than anything else, anywhere else I've ever seen. They're great, great calculators. So if you go to the homepage here, you can choose Canadian calculators because, of course,
we're Canadian.
And believe it or not, the way that loans are calculated are slightly different in the U.S. than in Canada, right? The way that they calculate interest. And so it is important that you choose the Canadian ones. And when you go here, you can see that they've just got hundreds, probably not hundreds, dozens and dozens, of calculators here that you can use to try.
Cool million. I like that one.
You like that one? How do I get to a cool million? Buy versus lease. Let's have a look at this one. All right, so as an example here, let's say, I don't know where we're going to get a car for $20,000. So let's put a more realistic price in here of like $45,000. So let's say it would cost you $45,000 to buy. You're going to put $1,000 down, and of course you've got HST of 13%. Now, investment rate of return. So one of the things that is great about this app is it actually answers the questions of what kind of information do they want here? So this is important because it's going to calculate for you what kind of money you would make if you invested your down payment rather than putting it down on your vehicle, right? So 7% is pretty aggressive right now. Let's maybe say 3%.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's important that you put information in here that is accurate based on what's going on when you're making the calculation. All right. So we're going to click here. Now we're going to go into the buy option. So if I'm looking at a loan, let's say it's going to be a 60-month loan. They're charging me 8% interest. You know, I bet you I can get 5% interest. Let's say there's no other fees. And then annual depreciation 20%. So again, we can roll over the question mark here, and we can see that 20% is considered to be on the high end of depreciation and 15% medium. But for our example, let's leave it at 20%. This, of course, is always going to be an unknown. Depending on the vehicle type and depending on the market, they're going to lose their value at a different rate, of course, right? Okay, and then let's go fill in the leasing information. So, of course, all of this information is going to be coming from the dealer, the agreement that you're able to make. So let's say we're looking at a 36-month lease. Not very many people do 24-month leases. And an 8% interest rate, again, that's probably pretty reasonable. They often charge you a higher interest rate on leases than on purchases, but not always. They might have another $100 in fees. Now the residual percentage, so this is what's often known as the buyback price as well. So your contractor, your offer from your dealer might not say what the percentage of the residual is, so you might have to figure it out. You know, let's say you're buying a $45,000 vehicle and the buyout at the end of the residual is $22,500. Well, the residual percentage would then, of course, be 50%.
Yeah.
So you might have to figure that out. And then, of course, they always ask for a security deposit there. So, all right. So if that's all the information that we have from our agreements, it then comes down and gives us a pretty little picture here of what the net cost of buying versus leasing is, especially when, you take in the value of the vehicle at the end. And they can look at a full report as well. where you can look at all the information. Of course, the purchase price is the same. The interest rates, in this case, we put in different interest rates. Down payment, we left the same. Other fees, and again, you just work through all of the costs here. You can see there'd be a difference in your payment. Your loan payment would be higher than your lease payment. But at the end of the day, the cost of buying actually is a little bit more than the cost of leasing in this example.
Okay.
So we talked before about the difference on a tax basis for buying or leasing. This calculator would help you see on a financial basis which one is the better deal.
So that was an example of the buying versus leasing calculator, but there are so many calculators on there. So what are some that you like to use a lot, Steve?
All the time we use the mortgage amortization calculator.
Okay.
Because for figuring out people's taxes, we need to know how much principal versus interest. And so it's a great calculator for that. Often the second most used one probably would be the auto loan calculator for the same reason. We're trying to find out, how fast we're paying down a loan and how much interest we can write off versus the principal that's being paid on the loan. Some of the other ones that I would definitely recommend to people are the financial net worth calculators. That's something banks often want to see when you're applying for loans. And the retirement planners, those are great.
Oh, that's a
They've
good
got a
one.
number of retirement planning calculators to show you how much money you have to put away to reach your retirement savings goals.
Cool, so go check them out. We can link them in the bio so that you can click on it easily and let us know what you think.